Hey there you guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's video because as you can tell from the title, I am sharing my healthy sesame chicken recipe with all of you. In case you are new to my channel, my name is Marissa and I am a pharmacist and holistic health coach. And here on my channel, I share about how to live a holistic lifestyle so that you can live a more balanced and healthier life. If you are interested in following along, then I would love for you to subscribe and to stick around. So a quick backstory on this recipe before we go ahead and start cooking. So I was recipe testing for the channel about a week ago, and I was trying to make like a sweet, like stir fry chicken dish. And when I tasted it at the very end, it tasted like sesame chicken. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I love sesame chicken, but I don't go out to eat at like a Chinese restaurant or even get takeout very often. In fact, I haven't had sesame chicken in years. I do not feel good after I eat out at like Chinese restaurants. They usually have a lot of sodium, processed oils, and like MSG within the food product, and a lot of soy. And it's just not my thing. And so I have not had sesame chicken in a very long time. And when I tasted this, it was so good. And I knew instantly that this had to make it to the channel. And I knew that I was gonna call it my healthy sesame chicken dish. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so what you're going to need in order to make today's recipe is one large sized chicken breast. We're going to season that in a little bit of flour. I use spelt flour, but you can also use all-purpose flour or like a all-purpose gluten-free flour, whichever you prefer. And then you're also going to season the flour with a little bit of salt and pepper and some garlic and onion powder. Then we're also going to need some chopped onion and some minced garlic. And then we're also going to be using some apple cider vinegar, some pure sesame oil, some coconut aminos, and then you're going to saute the chicken and the onion and garlic in some avocado oil, and then we're also going to be using some honey. And then you can't have sesame chicken without sesame seeds, so we are going to be garnishing the dish with these at the very end. So the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to prepare our flour mixture. So I am using a 1/4 cup of spelt flour. You can also use all-purpose flour, whole wheat flour, or like a all-purpose gluten-free flour, whichever you prefer. And then we are going to season the flour with some spices. So I have a 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, and then we are going to use a dash of salt and some freshly ground black pepper. Then go ahead and use a spoon and mix it all together to make sure that all of the spices are well combined within the flour. And once you are all done with that, now it is time to slice the chicken breast. So as you can see here, I am slicing the chicken breast in long strips, and they're about a 1/2 to 1 inch in thickness. And then after that, I just cut them in half again so that they were a little smaller in size and more closely resembled the sesame chicken that you normally see when you go to a Chinese restaurant or get Chinese takeout. And once you are done slicing your chicken, then go ahead and take each piece and dredge it in the flour mixture and then set it off to the side. The next thing to do is to prepare your onion and your garlic. So as you saw earlier, I am using pre-minced garlic that I just bought from the grocery store, and now I just need to slice up an onion. So I would say about a small to a medium-sized onion for this dish. The onion you see there was a fairly large one, so I only used about 1/2 of it. Now, if you don't want to chop onion, then I'm a huge fan of getting like frozen, already chopped onion, and it works beautifully. I just ran out, so that's why I had to slice this. Otherwise, I would have been using that. And once everything is prepped and ready to go, we can go ahead and start cooking. So in a large frying pan, I added in a little bit of avocado oil and I let that heat up for a bit. You know when it's hot enough when you like put a little bit of water, or you could put like a piece of chicken or something in the frying pan. And when you hear that like nice sizzle sound, then you know that it is ready and you are good to go. The reason for that is because chicken, you want it to brown, but not take like a ton of time to cook. If it's on a low heat, then sometimes it has trouble browning, or you have to like cook it for a long time before it browns. But then unfortunately at that point, the chicken can become dry. So that's why you want to heat your pan prior to adding the chicken in there. And then once you brown each side of it, go ahead and take it out, put in a little bit more oil if you need to. And now we are going to saute our onion, season it with a dash of salt and some freshly ground black pepper, and then go ahead and add in your garlic. So this recipe calls for about 2 cloves of garlic, or you could use a half a teaspoon of that already pre-minced garlic. Give it a good stir and allow it to saute. And once it is nice and golden brown, we can go ahead and add in the rest of our ingredients. So you're going to need a half a teaspoon of pure sesame oil, 1.5 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon of coconut aminos, 1 and last but not least is 1/3 cup of honey. And once you have all of your ingredients in the frying pan, using a wooden spoon or a spatula, go ahead and give it all a good stir just to make sure that everything is well combined. Then add your chicken back into the frying pan, and using your tongs or a spatula, make sure that each side of the chicken is evenly coated within that honey glaze. Then allow it to cook for like maybe 2 to 4 minutes. You don't want to cook it too long because you don't want the chicken to dry out, but you do want to cook it a little bit just so that all of the flavors combine together and that the chicken, again, has that nice, beautiful honey glaze all over it. And when it is all done, it will look like this. At this point, go ahead and shut the flame, and then you can go ahead and take each piece of chicken out and put it on a serving dish. And then what I like to do is then drizzle the glaze with the onion and the garlic right on top of all of that chicken. And then of course you can't have sesame chicken without some sesame seeds, so go ahead and garnish the top of all of the chicken with some sesame seeds. And then just like you would see in a Chinese restaurant, I paired the sesame chicken with some steamed broccoli and some brown rice. And there you go, you have a really easy, healthy, delicious, and satisfying weeknight dinner recipe. All right, you guys, so that is how you make this recipe. I hope that you enjoyed today's video and decide to give the recipe a try. If you would like to view the full recipe with all of the written instructions and measurements, then be sure to check out the description box below. Everything will be listed right there. And now I'm going to go ahead and eat this for dinner. I'm super hungry and it smells so good. If you liked the video and the recipe, then be sure to give it a big thumbs up, comment down below, and hit that red subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you want, you can even follow me on Instagram. It's just at Simply Health with Marissa. I'm always sharing about food and wellness tips and holistic living, talking about essential oils and all that fun stuff. And I would love to have you over on there. All right, you guys, so that is how you make this recipe. I hope that you enjoyed today's video and decide to give the recipe a try. If you would like to view the full recipe, then be sure to check out the description box below. If you liked this video and this recipe, then be sure to give it a big thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can even follow me on Instagram. It's just at Simply Health with Marissa. I'm there every day talking about holistic living, essential oils, food, wellness tips, all that fun stuff, and I would love to have you over on there. And now I'm going to go ahead and eat this for dinner. It smells so good and it tastes so good, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!